is Late Edition News at 10 with Ann Gownley. Sports with Beth Mensinger. Meteorologist Joe Garbacik. And senior news analyst L.A. Jerome.
A man who was put behind bars after being accused of shooting another man in Hazleton will soon be released from jail after all charges against him were withdrawn. It's our top story tonight. Good evening. This is WYLN's Late Edition for Thursday, October 24th, 2013. I'm Ann Gownley. A man from Hanover Township who was charged with 2 felony counts of aggravated assault by Hazleton City Police for shooting another man in the neck on September 14th will soon be released from jail. 27-year-old Fernando Torres had his preliminary hearing this morning. Luzerne County Assistant District Attorney Alexis Falvello and Defense Attorney Joseph Sklarowski Sr. announced the withdrawal of all charges against Torres. According to Falvello, after several attempts, they were unable to locate the victim in this case, Jose Romero Rivera of Hazleton. Falvello said a person who identified himself as Rivera's attorney contacted her and said he advised him not to testify. Torres was present at his hearing today. According to police, Torres shot Romero Rivera at an automobile repair shop's business office, then fled. Hazleton General Hospital alerted police of the shooting, and the victim was flown to Lehigh Valley Hospital for emergency surgery and was released. Torres was taken into custody in Philadelphia and arraigned in Hazleton. He was held in county prison in lieu of $1 million bail. After today's hearing, he was taken back to prison, where he was scheduled to be released. The Whitehaven couple whose young daughter drank their methadone found themselves in district court this morning. Whitehaven police have charged 30-year-old Adam Skaniski and his 35-year-old wife Sharon with endangering the welfare of their 6-year-old daughter. According to police, their daughter drank methadone from an unattended prescription bottle on July 22nd in the couple's apartment at 316 Main Street in Whitehaven. Methadone is prescribed to recovering addicts. Both were released on unsecured bail. We spoke with Whitehaven Chief of Police Tom Zoke about this case.
Based on the affidavit, the allegation is that once the child ingested the methadone, the parents delayed services to the child, causing the child to almost die. When the child took the methadone, it was like 3 hours till they got medical treatment for the child, which really endangered the child's life at that point.
Zoke tells us that even the parents have testified that their daughter drank the methadone and adds that this incident is a first for the Whitehaven area.
This is the first time we've had a case like this in Whitehaven where the methadone was used and left out where the child could get it. We have had overdoses, accidental overdoses with children. Never nothing like this where delayed treatment happened.
Neither parent was charged this morning because their attorney was suspended for not paying his $130 fee to practice law in Luzerne County.
Hopefully we are going to reschedule a preliminary hearing, go through that, and then have the parents charged and see what their sentence is.
State Representative Tara Toohill is speaking out about that case in Whitehaven. Now, she says she found it to be extremely alarming that this incident happened to such a young child, adding that drug use and methadone use has become an epidemic in Pennsylvania and is now looking into stricter laws that can protect children and the community from this ever happening again.
We want addicts to get help. We want them to be able to treat their drug problem, but we don't want methadone to be in homes available for use by children or abused by other family members.
Again, the couple's arraignment has been postponed, and we will keep you updated on when it is rescheduled. Police in Hazleton are looking for a man after they say that he robbed a residence at gunpoint. It happened just after 11 o'clock last night near the Motor Inn on East Broad Street. Police say the masked man forced his way into an attached residence brandishing a gun. He removed cash and cell phones from the residence by force. The suspected fled the scene on foot. The residents were home at the time, but no injuries were reported. The white male is 5 feet 2 inches tall, approximately 125 pounds, and was last seen wearing a black jacket with a black backpack and a black ski mask. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Hazleton Police Department at 570-459-4940. A suspect in the shooting of Justin Coletta that left him seriously injured was picked up by Wilkes-Barre police yesterday. 19-year-old John Nag Osela Ganti Oskgontley was charged with felony counts of robbery, inflicting serious bodily injury, and conspiracy. The alleged shooter, Sean Gerard Washington, was arrested in April and is awaiting trial. According to police, Gontley, Washington, and Miguel Molino Jr. lured Coletta out of Molino's apartment, and Washington pointed a gun at his head. Coletta moved his head and was shot in the neck. After several surgeries at Geisinger, Wyoming Valley, Coletta survived. Gontley is now behind bars at the Luzerne County Prison for lack of $100,000 bail. Molino is still on the run. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to call Wilkes-Barre Police at 570-826-8101. A Guyanan citizen in the United States illegally will now spend 104 months in a federal prison. 59-year-old Augustine de Cruz was charged with possession with intent to distribute cocaine, crack cocaine, and possessing a firearm. According to U.S. Attorney Peter J. Smith, 2 search warrants were issued at de Cruz's Wilkes-Barre home in February of 2011, where they found 77 grams of crack cocaine, 85 grams of cocaine, 2 handguns, a rifle, and approximately $2,500 along with a surveillance system and packaging material. A Wilkes-Barre man led police on a chase just before 11 o'clock last night after beating his girlfriend with bicycle handlebars and attacked a woman who came to her rescue. 44-year-old John Morrow of Wilkes-Barre is charged with 3 counts of simple assault, making terroristic threats, aggravated assault, and related charges. The victim, Lynn Ropensky, called police after Morrow threw her to the ground and began to punch her. Morrow then threw a bicycle on top of her and used it to hit her in the face, head, and ribs. According to police, a woman came to her aid, but Morrow pushed her away. Morrow fled from the scene. When he realized police were on their way, he ran through several yards, jumping fences until police caught him in the area of a restaurant on Main Street in Kingston. Morrow was arraigned this morning and is now locked up in the Luzerne County Prison for lack of $25,000 bail. Concerns over property taxes were held today as a roundtable discussion by Senator John Udicek and other state senators.
If you were to ask any legislator what issue they hear about most from his or her constituency, if that legislator is not from Philadelphia, the answer invariably will be property taxes. Both parties hear it, and the majority of both parties would like to do something about it. Cuts across party lines. Well, today the Senate Democratic Policy Committee, a political arm of Senate Democrats, held a roundtable discussion about property taxes at Lehighton Borough Hall.
We want to further the conversation on eliminating property taxes in Pennsylvania, further the momentum that we've built up in the Pennsylvania Senate. 24 co-sponsors of Senate Bill 76. We want to further that conversation and hopefully get a bill to the governor's desk that will help out all those homeowners across Pennsylvania that are struggling to keep up with high property taxes.
But it invited Republicans to take part, something that doesn't happen that often.
Everybody is affected by the rising cost of property taxes and this heavy reliance on property taxes to fund education. So we brought in our Republican colleagues as well, who were gracious enough to say, yes, this is a topic that cuts across all sides of the aisle, and I want to be a part of it too.
One of those invited Republicans was Senator Dave Argel.
I think we have 2 models. We have the Washington model where the Republicans and Democrats scream at each other and have shown the complete inability to get anything done. Fortunately, we have a very different model here because in order to change this archaic and unfair property tax system that this state has been stuck with for better or worse since the 1830s, it's going to take Republicans and Democrats in the Senate and in the House and, of course, the governor.
Others involved in the discussion were mostly officials from Carbon County school districts, along with Dave Baldinger and Bob Kistler of the Pennsylvania Coalition of Taxpayer Associations and Kimberly Skurmanek of the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. Now, there are several bills related to property taxes floating around Capitol Hill. Much of the discussion today centered on House and Senate Bill 76, the one which eliminates property taxes as school funding sources and replaces it with a higher personal income tax and sales tax. Baldinger has been the main driver behind that bill, and he read a letter from someone which he says shows how unfair property taxes are.
Due to some personal health problems resulting in reading the date of the tax sale wrong, my property was sold on September 20th. I read it as September 26th. The only way I'm aware of this is that on the 23rd I went to set up my tax payment schedule. I've exhausted every possible way that I can think of to find any kind of legal advice what to do or the proper people to contact. I've spoken with a legal aid attorney, and she needs a copy of my file. When I went to the tax claim office to ask for it, they tell me it will take a week to get my file together, and she thought that file was where everything was kept, so she'd get it right away.
There have been 2 reports on revenue the bill would generate. One showed it would just about raise the $12.7 billion that property taxes now raise, but another shows it would come up short by quite a margin. That's a concern of some, and others had other concerns.
Simple math, it's $17,000 per student, gross cost. You know, that's not inexpensive at all. But again, changing to property tax, well, helping property tax reform by going to a higher income, maybe an increased sales tax, I can understand the concept of bringing in a greater, opening the funnel up wider for more potential revenue. But again, my concerns are always on the spending side and the critical thinking of why we're spending and what we're spending it on.
But many of those in the audience were behind House and Senate Bill 76.
This bill is an absolute necessity, and the real issues that we have is not with the public or our local legislators, senators, representatives. It's with some other parts of the state. There's a lot of places in the state where they have very low property taxes because of other issues, and they don't understand what the real issue is.
Our current taxation system for property owners in Pennsylvania is extremely destructive for business and residential properties. A lot of people are exiting the state by force, not that they want to, but they can no longer afford to pay their property taxes. It's gotten out of control. House Bill and Senate Bill 76 will fairly share the cost of our public schools by everybody, not just property owners.
This bill is very important to keep people in their homes, but also to allow young people to purchase homes, which is becoming very difficult for them now because of the property tax load.
The other bill gaining traction comes from York Republican Seth Grove. It's House Bill 1189 and allows districts to lower property taxes and replace the revenue with a menu of taxes. Argyle doesn't support it, but does support Senate Bill 76.
Would put together a partial decrease of school district property taxes. Our fear is that if you don't kill off the beast, it comes back and it grows even worse than ever before. It would also, as the House had looked at, put in 500 different ways of taxing businesses all across the state, school district by school district. We don't think that's the way to go at all. We believe the way to go, the way that my constituents are telling me, is to eliminate this unfair tax for all time.
But is there enough support to pass something like House and Senate Bill 76?
It is a complicated issue. You're talking about big numbers, trying to find a replacement to $12-13 billion in property tax revenue for our schools. But I think it's the most important conversation that we could be having. One, how do you help out homeowners that can no longer afford to pay their property taxes? Two, how do you fund the most important function of government, education, the education of our children? We need to move away from the 18th century model, which is property tax, to the 21st century model, which I think is a blend of sales tax reform and personal income tax reform, and then we get to a modern system of education in Pennsylvania.
The discussion continues. L.A. Tyrone, WILN's Late Edition.
Concerns over dust complaints brought residents out from Latimer to hear results of a study conducted by the Department of Environmental Protection. WILN's Julie Stefanovich was there and has the details.
A public meeting was held this morning at the Hazleton Township Commons building. It was hosted by State Representative Tara Toohill along with the Department of Environmental Protection Agency officials. Residents from the village of Latimer attended to find out the results of an air quality study which was conducted over the past year. Colleen Connolly explains how the air sample study was managed.
What we did was we put out 4 jars, like large baby food jars, in different areas of Hazleton Township, particularly in the Latimer area. And we collected ambient dust that blows around in the air over a year-long period. And we sent those test results to Harrisburg. And the bottom line is we cannot definitively say, just from those dust jars alone, that the dust is coming from Hawbaker Quarry. It's just not scientifically possible to prove that that dust was coming from the quarry. It could have been dust that was kicked up alongside of the road, cars driving by, but we can't point it to that one single operation.
Connolly said that the DEP hasn't received any dust complaints within the past 9 months. The department stresses that they don't want the problem to reoccur and will take immediate action if it arises again. We spoke with a couple of Latimer residents to find out their reaction and what they think about possible solutions.
Due to the operations declining, there hasn't been as much dust, but it's still there. Quality of air is a major concern, and I'm glad DEP did their sample versus the Lycoming one, and two of them basically should be compared to see the results if they're close or if they're in opposite directions. Our major concern in Latimer and our area, where the Sawbaker facility is the quality of air.
I would hope that they would enclose the plant if they're going to continue it there to cut the dust down. If the plant was enclosed, I think that would probably cut down quite a bit of the dust. To give you an example, go over to the Ebervale plant that processes coal air, and it's enclosed, and you don't have the noise and you don't have the dust.
State Representative Tara Toohill addressed the issues and concerns of the residents. One factor Toohill attributes to the decline in dust complaints is the downward spiraling coal industry.
One of the things is on the national level and on the state level, we have been just killing the coal business. So obviously coal mining operations are down, people are buying less coal, the state is not supporting coal like we used to. So Latimer it seems to be that they're not being affected as much anymore because coal mining operations are down. So the residents here are looking at just the fact that they are being affected by the operation that's in such close proximity to their homes.
A representative from the DEP will be at the next Hazel Township meeting on November 11th at 6 p.m. They will review the findings and address the public's concerns. In Hazel Township, for WILN's Late Edition, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
No foul play was found after an autopsy was conducted on 35-year-old Sean Obitz of Plains Township. Obitz's body was found in the Susquehanna River Sunday morning in Hanover Township by a fisherman just after 8 a.m. He was identified through dental records. Luzerne County Coroner Bill Lissman determined there was no evidence of foul play, but the cause of his death are still pending toxicology reports. Nearly 225 students in grades K through 8th at Holy Family Academy in Hazleton learned all about emergency personnel in their area at the school's Health and Safety Day. Several agencies took part, including the Hazleton Fire Department, Pennsylvania State Police, and APTS, just to name a few. All students were able to speak with representatives from those departments and see the equipment they use.
These are all good things that we...
The 8th grade will be talking with two individuals from Sorrento Guardians. We have Nevin Baskin from one of the martial arts groups coming in to talk to them about bullying and cyberbullying and how to prevent that and what to do if they were bullied. That also include the 5th and 6th grade will be doing that also. For pre-K to 4th grade, they will be doing all the other things too. The fire company, the Red Cross, Sorrento Guardians, and the state police.
Says throughout each school year, they continue to educate the students as much as they can.
We feel that's important because the kids will be, when they leave here, especially the 8th graders, they'll be going on to other schools, bigger schools, more students, and we just don't want them to get involved in that kind of stuff. We try and keep the kids engaged in what they're doing. It's Holy Family Academy. We consider ourselves as a family. We treat the kids as part of the family. And it's just a way of keeping the kids safe is the main thing.
Holy Family Academy hopes to continue to hold these types of programs. Tonight, a special breast cancer awareness dinner was held at the Sand Springs Country Club in Drums. Putting on the Pink was created to inform the public about all the essential organizations that are used to navigate patients along their cancer journeys.
Well, the event that we're doing tonight is Putting on the Pink. It's a celebration of women and breast cancer awareness, and we take every specialty of ours, put it together to provide maximum impact and information to the public. A lot of the topics that we did cover today were organizations that deal with the first through the end of support for patient and education. We have a lot of national organizations that deal with this.
Hockman talks about what makes the event so unique and the courage it takes for the participants to walk down the runway.
I wouldn't say that a lot of us raised our hand and went, oh, pick us to be runway models. Some of us did it kind of digging our heels in a bit, but we did do it, and we did it to have a good time and to bring more awareness and support to breast cancer.
For more information on breast cancer awareness, you can visit the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance at www.ghha.org. Halloween is just around the corner, and students at West Hazleton Elementary Middle School were celebrating Falloween. Students in grades kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade dressed in harvest attire and their Halloween costumes to parade around the auditorium for all their parents and guardians. Other grades were not left out of the fun. 6th and 7th grade students were able to enjoy a harvest dance this evening. Principal Jocelyn Podlesny says programs and activities like this help grow a strong bond between all of the students.
We have our Wildcat Way, and we have a positive school-wide behavior support program. We have many clubs and many opportunities. We're developing students to be all-around citizens and contributing members of society. So we want an all-around student. We want the social aspect that's addressed, but the academics as well, and all pieces of a child. They're very important. Well, most important, we want our parents involved. We want them coming in, helping us, and just being part of our school community, because it takes everyone to raise a child.
And we hope all of the children had a fun day at West Hazleton Elementary School. The Hazleton Area School Board met this evening. Now, WYLN was there to tape the entire meeting, and you can see it broadcast right here on WYLN tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. And that is a look at tonight's top stories. Time now to check in with our Chief Meteorologist, Joe Garbacic, in the Bedrock Gardens Weather Center. Joe, how is that weather looking for Friday night football tomorrow?
Oh, it's definitely looking very chilly across our area, and you're going to have to really bundle up going to those games. I probably should have a jacket on right now, but I'm feeling pretty good, I guess you can say, in general. Let's take a look at our awareness graphics, see if there's any watches or warnings out there. We do have those freeze warnings in effect, but that's for our southern parts of our viewing area, because pretty much we saw the freeze last night across all of our viewing area. The complete 7-day forecast coming up after this break.
Homebrew your own wine with Simply Homebrew. Let their award-winning winemaker guide you through the entire process with 3 winemaking sessions, including the use of fresh winemaking juice and grapes, winery-grade equipment. Choose your own bottles, corks, and decorative caps. Design your own custom labels. You will be guided through the entire process from start to finish. It has never been easier to start home brewing. Simply Homebrew, 2 Honey Hole Road in Drums, 788-2311.
Why should you visit Penn State Hazleton?
Because if you come to our Penn State Day open house, there's no application fee. We have fun.
We have the Lion.
We have new scholarship money.
Students are scoring internships
all over the country. Penn State is ranked #1
by corporate recruiters.
And this is your chance to see campus, talk to students, meet professors, and check out everything Penn State has to offer.
Penn State Hazleton.
Check us out at psu.edu/visit Hazleton.
We build tires, but not tires like anybody else. We build Cooper tires for people, not just cars. People who are chauffeurs and shuttle pilots, heavy haulers and heavy hitters. More than what your Cooper tires can do, it's about what you can do with your Cooper tires. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
Heritage Sure Save, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. Come see for yourself. They have the freshest selection of meats, cheese, and produce. Baked goods made fresh on premises. They have an in-store butcher who is happy to accommodate your special orders. Be sure to stop in and check out their unadvertised specials. You'll find them throughout the store. See their flyer for weekly specials. Heritage Sure Save, your neighborhood full-service supermarket. This week at Heritage, for every $40 spent in a single visit, get 1 dozen large eggs free.
For all your projects, large and small, Bedrock Gardens has it all. They are fully stocked and ready to fill your order. Rubber mulch and rubber curbing to match. Lots of color choices to pick from. Wall stone, natural stone, full pallets ready to go. Their bins are full with rich colored quality mulch that will look wonderful all season long. Finish off your fabulous outdoor space with their quality patio furniture and easy to assemble fire pits. Everything you need for your summer projects. Delivery available, or just stop by and they will load you up. Bedrock Gardens, locally owned and operated. Call today.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, our guest is Dr. Mita Pencholi, and her new practice is located in Northeast PT Associates, across from Dr. John's office. We'll be talking about her practice only on Let's Talk Chiropractic on WILN TV 45.
We can still have hurricanes throughout the month of October. In fact, here's a look at some of the memorable October hurricanes back on record. We're talking from the 60s through even the 50s and the 90s, even as we headed into the year 2000. We have Sandy, we have Opal, Gladys, Wilma, Mitch, and Hazel. Keep in mind, the hurricane season doesn't officially end until November 30th, so we still can have some tropical activity out there throughout October and even heading into November. Live 35 Skycast Doppler, here's what we're looking at right now. We have nothing to show you. It continues to be dry from Wilkes-Barre through Scranton down through Hazleton, Danville, Williamsport, and Lewisburg. All points continue to remain dry. Temperature-wise, outside our station in Hazleton, we're already down to 34 degrees. Pressure coming in at 29.96 inches of mercury. Again, it's been dry since midnight hour. We did have a few flakes out there and a couple of sprinkles, but that pretty much is about it. And there you can see the winds occasionally get them a couple of miles per hour, and that will make it feel a little bit colder than what the actual air temperature indicates. Boy, talk about some cold air. This big pocket of cold air. Temperatures only in the 20s and in the 30s. How about Bismarck? It's coming in with 26 degrees. At the same time, you go down toward the southern parts of the state, temperatures in the 60s and even some 70s at 77 degrees right now in Las Vegas. That would be the place to go because it's warm. 38 now in Berwick, 38 in Bloomsburg, 36 in Monterey City, 38 degrees in Danville, 34 degrees in New Angola. Temperature-wise in the Wyoming Valley area, temperatures holding in the upper 30s to near 40 degrees, winds generally averaging between 5 to as much as 10 miles per hour. Satellite and radar, again, not much going on across the northeast. A little bit of some rain, snow showers mixed as you head toward the northwestern part of the state. But that pretty much is about it. And as we go through tonight, not a lot going to go on across our region. It should be fairly quiet across northeastern and central Pennsylvania, not expecting any type of accumulating precipitation, maybe a few sprinkles or flurries, but that pretty much is about it. Here's a look at some of the numbers as we head through tonight. We got upper 20s, we got lower 30s. Tomorrow we're only up into the 40s. Some locations may be near 50 degrees, and heading into tomorrow night, again, we got upper 20s and lower 30s as we go into our early Saturday morning. So high pressure just out toward the west as we go into tomorrow, but again, it's going to be brisk. It's going to be a little bit windy out there. Bundle up going to any of those high school football games because you're going to need the layers on. Always wear a hat. Most of the energy is lost through the head regions. Keep that in mind. It definitely is going to feel more November-like versus October. So we got upper 20s, lower 30s statewide for tonight, partly cloudy skies, and for tomorrow, statewide, we got 40s to just about near 50 degrees. Extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys, Division of Arc Electric. Here's what we can expect next few days, only in the 40s, and then as we go into early next week, we get a little bit milder conditions, getting up into the lower 50s. A few scattered showers maybe around for Wednesday, but overnight lows generally dropping down into the 20s and lower 30s. Our evening Pennsylvania lottery numbers, a daily 147, the big 4, 4506. And here's a look at your quinto numbers. Hopefully they're your lucky numbers, as well as the cash 5. We'll have more for you coming up after these commercial messages.
Join the American Cancer Society October 27th for the Survivor Runway Spooktacular from 1 to 3 p.m. at the top of the 80s. All proceeds from the event will benefit the Look Good, Feel Better program, providing wigs to cancer patients. Join them for fun and fashion. There'll be a tricky tray, door prizes, celebrity guest bartenders, and State Representative Tara Toohill will join both patient and caregiver models in showcasing some of the season's high fashion. Light refreshments and a cash bar will be available. Bring a friend and take a Sunday afternoon to help the American Cancer Society and the Look Good, Feel Better program.
A winning smile. It's not the secret to success, but it sure helps. Protect your smile by visiting Dr. Weiss for complete dental services. Dr. Weiss offers a full-service denture laboratory on premises, offering dentures in one day. 3 dentists, 4 hygienists, and a team of caring technicians and assistants specializing in quality dentures and repairs, complete general dentistry, extractions, cleaning, and caps. Dr. Weiss, where you can have new dentures in one day.
Hi everybody, this is Richie Molinaro, Marketing Director for Fairway Chevrolet in Hazleton. Since Berwick Chevrolet is no longer an authorized Chevrolet dealer, I'd like to personally invite you to join our Fairway family. We'll provide you with the utmost courtesy from Chevrolet sales, service, and parts to our state-of-the-art body shop and auto spot. We have over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles in stock. We're the #1 commercial truck and business elite dealer in Pennsylvania, and we would be honored to be your Chevrolet dealer.
The Gene Berger Performing Arts Center offers everyone the opportunity to experience the arts in a non-competitive atmosphere of education, exploration, creativity, safety, value, and fun. For 18 seasons, their experienced instructors have offered classes for toddlers through adults in tap, jazz, ballet, hip-hop, modern, gymnastics, and even Mommy and Me classes. With opportunities presented each season to perform, students are taught the needed fundamentals on which to build a solid dance foundation. Call and sign up for this season's classes today.
Award-winning children's recording artist Laurie Berkner will bring her music to Hazleton when the Laurie Berkner Band performs at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle on Saturday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Doors open at 12:30. Tickets may be purchased through wiltseycenter.org or at Ticketmaster retail outlets including select Boscov's and Walmart locations. The Laurie Berkner Band, November 23rd at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle. WILN TV 35, first in live sports.
Hi, I'm Ron Jaworski. For the best in local TV sports, watch WILN TV 35.
WILN TV 35 has it covered.
Hi, my name is Vince Papelli. I'm a former Philadelphia Eagle wide receiver and special teams guy, and for local sports coverage, I watch only WILN 35.
WILN TV 35, the event, not just the highlights.
The PIAA State Cross Country Championships are set for November 2nd at the Parkview Cross Country course in Hershey. And after the District 2 and District 11 Cross Country Championships yesterday, a number of local runners will be racing for gold. We begin in District 2. Both the Hazleton area boys and girls runners were last year's champions, but this year they had their work cut out for them. Yesterday in the 3A girls race, 2 Hazleton area seniors qualified in the cold conditions at Elk Lake High School, where Abington Heights captured first place, and as the Lady Cougars came in second. Angela Marchetti ran the 3.1-mile course in 19 minutes and 52 seconds, good enough for a second-place finish behind Abington's Tessa Barrett, who finished nearly 2 minutes ahead of her. Cassie Papp of the Lady Cougars came in with the 6th quickest time, 20 minutes and 28 seconds. Junior Nicole Burley and senior Becky Marchetti just missed qualifying. In the boys' 3A meet, Hazleton area could not defend their championship either, coming in 6th place overall, Wallen Paupack taking the gold. But there will be one representative from the Hazleton Cougar squad, senior Andrew Myers. Myers finished with a time of 17 minutes and 30 seconds, good enough for a 4th place finish. In the 2A boys race, Crestwood's Nick McGuire punched his ticket to Hershey. The junior placed 12th with a time of 17 minutes and 13 seconds. Holy Redeemer junior Cameron Gill finished right behind McGuire, running the course in 17 minutes and 15 seconds. And right behind him, Coughlin junior David Sidvari. Sidvari placed 18th with a time of 17:16. Now checking out the District 11 state qualifiers. Their meets were also held yesterday, but at the Bethlehem Municipal Golf Course. A number of runners from the south will also be heading to Hershey to compete. In the 2A girls competition, the North Schuylkill runners came in 8th, but senior Abby Warner placed 14th with a time of 20:48. Jim Thorpe's Courtney Capper will also be heading to states, besting Warner by 1 second. In Single A, Minersville came in first overall, but 2 Shenandoah Valley girls earned their chance at gold. Freshman Carly Chashenko placed 4th with a 22-minute and 11-second finish. And just behind her, junior Lady Devil Brittany Joseph will join her teammate in Hershey with a qualifying time of 22 minutes and 42 seconds. In the 2A boys race, Jim Thorpe came in second in points as a team, but no one in the area qualified individually. So moving to Single A boys in District 11, Minersville also took this title. But Monoy area sophomore Adam Bari ran a great race, 18 minutes and 47 seconds, and that was good enough for a 3rd place finish overall.
So a number of names in the WYLN viewing area that you should keep your eye out for who can possibly take home the gold next Saturday, November 2nd at the sweetest place on earth. The championships, like I said, will take place next Saturday. And County is your top stories coming up after the break.
All Care Home Care, the health care that you need in the comfort and privacy of your own home.
At All Care Home Care, our caring and compassionate staff of skilled nurses, occupational speech, physical therapists, dietitian, social worker, and home health aides will give you the professional care you need. Call 459-3002.
With All Care Home Care, you will feel so much better and be able to do so much more.
Remember, it's still your choice. For your care, call us and we'll be there.
The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated at 542 North Wyoming Street in Hazleton, serving the greater Hazleton area since 1890 and still family owned and operated, offers convenient parking, handicapped accessibility, seating for over 150 people, casket, cremation product showrooms to accommodate traditional, cremation, and pre-planned funerals. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated, 570-454-3341.
What do you see? Perhaps you're noticing the rusted fender or the dented side panel. Maybe the first thing your eye goes to is the worn interior. But look closer and you'll see something else. Value. At Harry's You Pull It, we see value in your old car and so will others. It's the reason we offer top dollar for your car. Junker, clunker, piece of tin, your car may have many names, but at Harry's, there's only one that matters. Value. Visit one of our 3 locations today in Hazleton, Pennsburg, and Allentown.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Cloud. Cancer is a disease plaguing our nation and certainly our area. Recently, I was fortunate to sit down with members of the American Cancer Society to learn more about what they do to educate us all. This week, they joined me on the storm to help us understand the organization, only on WYLN TV 35.
Recapping tonight's top stories, a man from Hanover Township who was charged with 2 felony counts of aggravated assault by Hazleton police for shooting another man in the neck on September 14th will soon be released from jail. 27-year-old Fernando Torres had his preliminary hearing this morning. Luzerne County Assistant District Attorney Alexis Falvello and Defense Attorney Joseph Sklarowski Sr. announced the withdrawal of all charges against Torres. According to Falvello, after several attempts, they were unable to locate the victim in this case, Jose Romero Rivera of Hazleton. Falvello said a person who identified himself as Rivera's attorney contacted her and said he advised him not to testify. Torres was present at his hearing today. According to police, Torres shot Romero Rivera at an automobile repair shop's business office, then fled. Hazleton General Hospital alerted police of the shooting, and the victim was flown to Lehigh Valley Hospital for emergency surgery and was released. Torres was taken into custody in Philadelphia and arraigned in Hazleton. He was held in county prison in lieu of $1 million bail. After today's hearing, he was taken back to prison where he's scheduled to be released. The Whitehaven couple whose young daughter drank their methadone found themselves in district court in Freeland this morning. Whitehaven police have charged 30-year-old Adam Skaniski and his 35-year-old wife Sharon with endangering the welfare of their 6-year-old daughter. According to police, their daughter drank methadone from an unattended prescription bottle on July 22nd in the couple's apartment at 316 Main Street in Whitehaven. Methadone is prescribed to recovering addicts. Both were released on unsecured bail. We spoke with Whitehaven Chief of Police Tom Zoke about this case.
Based on the affidavit, the allegation is that once the child ingested the methadone, the parents delayed services to the child, causing the child to almost die. When the child took the methadone, it was like 3 hours till they got medical treatment for the child, which really endangered the child's life at that point.
Zoke tells us that even the parents have testified that their daughter drank the methadone and adds that this incident is a first for the Whitehaven area.
This is the first time we've had a case like this in Whitehaven where the methadone was used and left out where the child could get it. We have had overdoses, accidental overdoses with children, never nothing like this where delayed treatment happened.
Neither parent was charged this morning because their attorney was suspended for not paying his $130 fee to practice law in Luzerne County.
Hopefully, we are going to reschedule a preliminary hearing, go through that, and then have the parents charged and see what their sentence is.
State Representative Tara Toohill is speaking out about that case in Whitehaven. She says she found it to be extremely alarming that this incident happened to such a young child, adding that drug use and methadone use has become an epidemic in Pennsylvania and is now looking into stricter laws that can protect children and the community from this ever happening again.
We want addicts to get help. We want them to be able to treat their drug problem, but we don't want methadone to be in homes available for use by children or abused by other family members.
Again, the couple's arraignment has been postponed, and we will keep you updated on when it is rescheduled. Police in Hazleton are looking for a man after they say he robbed a residence at gunpoint. It happened just after 11 o'clock last night near the Motor Inn on East Broad Street in Hazleton. Police say the masked man forced his way into an attached residence brandishing a gun. He removed cash and cell phones from the residence by force. The suspect fled the scene on foot. Residents were home at the time, but no injuries were reported. The white male is 5 feet 2 inches tall, approximately 125 pounds, and was last seen wearing a black jacket with a black backpack and a black ski mask. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Hazleton Police Department at 570-459-4940. A suspect in the shooting of Justin Coletta that left him seriously injured was picked up by Wilkes-Barre police yesterday. 19-year-old John Nag Gwantly was charged with felony counts of robbery, inflicting serious bodily injury, and conspiracy. The alleged shooter, Sean Gerard Washington, was arrested in April and is awaiting trial. According to police, Gwantly, Washington, and Miguel Molino Jr. lured Coletta out of Molino's apartment, and Washington pointed a gun at his head. Coletta moved his head and was shot in the neck. After several surgeries at Geisinger, Wyoming Valley, Coletta survived. Gwantly is now behind bars of Luzerne County Prison in lieu of $100,000 bail. Molino is still on the run, and anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to call Wilkes-Barre Police at 570-286-8101. A Wilkes-Barre man led police on a chase just before 11 o'clock last night after beating his girlfriend with bicycle handlebars and attacked a woman who came to a rescue. 44-year-old John Morrow of Wilkes-Barre is charged with 3 counts of simple assault, making terroristic threats, aggravated assault, and related charges. The victim, Lynn Ropiski, called police after Morrow threw her to the ground and began to punch her. Morrow then threw a bicycle on top of her and used it to hit her in the face, head, and ribs. Now, according to police, a woman who came to her aid, Morrow pushed her away. Morrow fled from that scene. When he realized police were on their way, he ran through several yards, jumping fences until police caught him in the area of a restaurant on Main Street in Kingston. Morrow was arraigned this morning and is now locked up in the Luzerne County Prison for lack of $25,000 bail. Concerns over dust complaints brought residents out from Latimer to hear results of a study conducted by the DEP. WYLN's Julie Stefanovich has more.
A public meeting was held this morning at the Hazleton Township Commons building. It was hosted by State Representative Tara Toohill along with the Department of Environmental Protection Agency officials. Residents from the village of Latimer attended to find out the results of an air quality study which was conducted over the past year. Colleen Connolly explains how the air sample study was managed.
What we did was we put out 4 jars, like large baby food jars, in different areas of Hazleton Township, particularly in the Latimer area. And we collected ambient dust that blows around in the air over a year-long period. And we sent those test results to Harrisburg. And the bottom line is we cannot definitively say, just from those dust jars alone, that the dust is coming from Hawbaker Quarry. It's just not scientifically possible to prove that that dust was coming from the quarry. It could have been dust that was kicked up alongside of the road, cars driving by, but we can't point it to that one single operation.
Connolly said that the DEP hasn't received any dust complaints within the past 9 months. The department stresses that they don't want the problem to reoccur and will take immediate action if it arises again. We spoke with a couple of Latimer residents to find out their reaction and what they think about possible solutions.
Due to the operations declining, there hasn't been as much dust, but it's still there. Quality of air is a major concern, and I'm glad DEP did their sample versus the Lycoming one, and 2 of them basically should be compared to see the results, if they're close or if they're in opposite directions. Our major concern in Latimer and our area, where the Sawbaker facility is the quality of air.
I would hope that they would enclose the plant if they're going to continue it there to cut the dust down. If the plant was enclosed, I think that would probably cut down quite a bit of the dust. To give you an example, go over to the Ebervale plant that processes coal air, and it's enclosed, and you don't have the noise and you don't have the dust.
State Representative Tara Toohill addressed the issues and concerns of the residents. One factor Toohill attributes to the decline in dust complaints is the downward spiraling coal industry.
One of the things is on the national level and on the state level, we have been just killing the coal business. So obviously coal mining operations are down, people are buying less coal, the state is not supporting coal like we used to. So Latimer it seems to be that they're not being affected as much anymore because coal mining operations are down. So the residents here are looking at just the fact that they are being affected by the operation that's in such close proximity to their homes.
A representative from the DEP will be at the next Hazel Township meeting on November 11th at 6 p.m. They will review the findings and address the public's concerns. In Hazel Township, for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
And that is a look at tonight's top stories. Coming up next, Beth Bensinger is back with more sports coming your way. But first, let's check back in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik, who's outside. Joe, I bet you're wishing you had a warmer jacket on or one at all tonight.
Yeah, I got one there in the studio. I just didn't bring it out. I'm kind of fired up tonight, if you will. But you know, it is chilly out, a little bit of a breeze here in the backyard. But you know what, those leaves, hard to imagine that we're approaching past peak season. Here's a look at the graphic. You can see for yourself that those leaves now are coming off the trees, and hopefully you got a chance to enjoy those colors while they last it. Complete 7-day forecast coming at you in just a few.
Barber Ford. It's a cut above the rest. Buy it at Barber. Honest people where the deals are the best. Now is the time. Barber Ford is the place. The best cause I hear there's no mistake. You can't buy better. You can't buy better than Barber Ford.
Barber Ford, Route 309 in Hazleton and on Route 11 in Exeter.
What you sleep on can change your life. It affects how you feel, your relationships, how you perform. Let the folks at Grand Central custom fit the right sleeping surface just for you. Get free interest for 36 months, free delivery, free removal, free bed frame, plus a free furniture gift card on Sealy Posturepedic hybrids and Optimum bedding. Be custom fit. Get lots of freebies. Everybody shops Grand Central. Shouldn't you?
As a diabetic, where do I turn for the special healthcare products and advice I need?
Come into your nearby Good Neighbor Pharmacy. We specialize in the unique concerns and needs you have as a diabetic patient. Your Good Neighbor pharmacist has a fully trained staff, stocks a broad selection of the products you need, and takes a personal interest in your health and well-being.
During these changing times, is your insurance program up to date? I'm local Allstate agent Gary McNeilis. I invite you to come into our office or give us a call. We'll help you be sure that you have the proper coverage to take care of all your family's needs at a price you can afford. Now more than ever, you need to be in good hands to protect everything that's important to you. Our team of insurance professionals and I will be honored to serve you. Are you in good hands?
Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, our guest is Dr. Mita Pencholi, and her new practice is located in Northeast PT Associates across from Dr. John's office. We'll be talking about her practice only on Let's Talk Chiropractic on WILN TV 45.
Earlier in October, the NFL announced they will be expanding their games overseas to 3 a season. Today, we found out who will be taking the field in London at Wembley Stadium in 2014. It's the Dallas Cowboys facing Jacksonville, the Lions against the Atlanta Falcons, and the Miami Dolphins going up against the Raiders. The Jags, Falcons, and Raiders will be the, quote, home teams. Dates and times of those matchups have not yet been announced, and the NFL international games continue this season on Sunday. The Jaguars against the 49ers. Now, earlier in the week, Dodgers manager Don Mattingly said he wasn't sure if he'd be back in LA's dugout in 2014. Well, last night, team president Stan Kasten announced that Mattingly will make his return for the final season of his contract. Reports say the two sides are beginning negotiations on a new contract within the next few days. The NHL suspended John Scott of the Buffalo Sabres indefinitely today. The defenseman will now have to go to a disciplinary hearing, and it all stems from a cheap shot to the head of Boston Bruins forward Louis Eriksson during Buffalo's 5-2 loss. When asked about the hit, Scott said he didn't think it was a dirty play as it wasn't intentional, and he doesn't want to be perceived as a dirty player. He also said he texted Eriksson to apologize. Scott's teammate Patrick Kaleta had also been suspended for 10 games for an illegal hit to the head on Jack Johnson of the Blue Jackets. Kaleta appealed the suspension, but he was turned down. The NCAA began tracking student-athlete graduation rates in the mid-90s. In their most recent study, finds some of the highest graduation rates ever. 82% of athletes from 2006 to 2007 freshman class earned their diplomas last year. Last year, the graduation rate was 81%. NCAA officials say that the reforms they have had students follow over the past 2 decades academically have been the reason behind the high percentages. Now, let's check out tonight's scoreboard. It is Game 2 of the Fall Classic, and the Red Sox have the 1-0 lead in the series. Matt Holliday for the Cards starting their offense with a triple. He eventually crosses the plate, but in the 6th, Big Papi goes yard, scoring 2 with the homer, but the Birds are charging back over the Beards. Cards lead it 4-2 in the 7th. In Thursday night football between the Panthers and the Bucks, Tampa Bay trying to win their first game of the season, but it's not if Cam Newton has anything to say. He has 3 touchdowns, 2 passes, and 1 rushing, and the Panthers lead 27-6. In the NHL, Boston wins over the Sharks. In a shootout, Vancouver 3-2. Flyers win 2-1 against the Rangers. Montreal with the W over the Ducks. Chicago fell to Tampa Bay in overtime, and nearing the end of their overtime, the Jets and the Predators are tied at 2. Carolina fell to Minnesota. Dallas is up 5-1 in the 3rd. The Edmonton Oilers, they trail the Caps, and the Kings score in the first minute of play. They are leading Phoenix 1-0. Stick around for a fired-up Joe Garbacek after the break.
Award-winning children's recording artist Laurie Berkner will bring her music to Hazleton when the Laurie Berkner Band performs at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle on Saturday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. Doors open at 12:30. Tickets may be purchased through wiltseycenter.org or at Ticketmaster retail outlets including select Boscov's and Walmart locations. The Laurie Berkner Band, November 23rd at the Wiltsey Center at the Historic Castle.
Tri-County Business Machines has been serving the Hazleton area with office supplies and furniture for over 35 years. We are your local Kyocera dealer for all your digital Kyocera copiers, printers, and faxes. For exceptional reliability, sales, and service, the call to make is to Tri-County Business Machines. Tri-County Business Machines, keeping your office up to speed. Tri-County Business Machines, located at 117 East Broad Street, Hazleton. Phone 459-0754, or visit us on the web at tricountybm.com.
S.J. Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric, Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call S.J. Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
Your family's good health begins with a great team. That team is the Alliance Medical Group. We're the first healthcare provider in the greater Hazleton area to offer a fully integrated approach to family and specialized medical care. Our expanding network of more than 30 physicians and specialists are trusted by thousands for routine and complex medical treatments. For a convenient appointment at any of our 15 regional offices, simply call 501-4AMG. Alliance Medical Group. Your health, that's our specialty.
It's Octoberger, the sale's so big they named a month after it, at Berger, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Hazleton.
Hi, Jim Kennedy, Berger Family Dealerships. Experience Buick with a 2014 Buick Verano, 24-month lease for only $219 a month, or the 2014 GMC Sierra, all new, lease it 36 months for only $339.
It's Octoberger at Berger, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, just off I-81, exit 145, Route 93 in Hazleton. Drive with experience.
WYLN, your first choice for locally produced shows like Chef Lou, Jen-tastic Sweets, Off the Beaten Path, The Storm, and more. Find out how you can stretch your advertising dollars and be a part of the WYLN TV lineup. Call 570-459-1869, extension 1302. WYLN, we're your local network.
Live 35 Skycast Doppler. Well, we got some precipitation out in northwestern Pennsylvania, some rain and snow showers mixed, but the rest of us not a lot going on. Just a few flurries or sprinkles at best, but that's pretty much about it. We're at 35 degrees, our live Lehigh tire conditions outside our station in Hazleton. Pressure coming in at 29.96 inches of mercury. And there you can see the winds coming in, averaging about 5 or so miles per hour. 37 Wilkes-Barre-Scranton International Airport, 35 degrees in Mount Pocono, 39 in Allentown, 38 in Williamsport, 33 in Selinsgrove, and 36 in State College. Satellites and radar. Some precip across the northwest. Much of the nation, though, not a lot going on in the central part of the nation, out in the Pacific Northwest. Tell you what, that cold air, though, is entrenched across the northeast. And what you see here, all of these rain, snow shower, that activity pretty much will stay there. Really is not going to make its way into our area. So we should be fairly quiet through the overnight hours. And even as we start going into the daytime hours of tomorrow, it looks like it should be fairly quiet. However, the chilly air is going to continue to stay with us for the next several days. We're going to be looking at 40s for daytime highs. We got 20s and 30s for overnight lows. And by the ending part of next week or so, as we start going into next week, eventually we will get temperatures back up into the 50s. But until then, we're going to have to deal with this chilly air. High pressure just out toward the west. Brisk, windy conditions across the northeast. Here's a look at the extended forecast brought to you by the Wire guys. A division of Arc Electric. We've gotten temperatures in the 40s over the next several days. You see those overnight lows, 20s, some lower 30s, and then as we start going into next week, as we start going into our Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, even Monday, looks like we'll be warming back up into the 50s for daytime highs. Next chance of seeing any measurable rainfall won't get here until about the middle part of next week, maybe about Wednesday, but then we should be back up into the 50s. But for those high school games going into tomorrow night, you're definitely going to have to dress warm because it's going to be very chilly out there, probably looking at 30s for game times. So the crew is going, boy, Beth is not liking that.
No, I can't wait till they all walk in. And they're all gonna look like big marshmallows when they walk in, because that's Michael have about 6 hoodies and a jacket.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's it.
Whatever. There was snow at my house today. There were snow flurries at my house today. Horrible.
I know. I saw everybody. I didn't have any, but.
Well, I mean, it was obviously nothing. As soon as it hit the ground, it melted, and there were puddles all over the place. but
I like the cold, but I'm not ready for that. Not ready for that at all. I just want to remind you, Hazleton police are looking for a man that was involved in an armed robbery at a residence. He is a white male with 5 feet 2 inches tall, 125 pounds, wearing a black jacket, black backpack, and a black ski mask. If you know where his whereabouts are, please contact the Hazleton police at 570-459-4940 or dial 911. And also, to remind everyone else, with the Hazleton Area School Board that will be broadcast live here, or not live, broadcast on WILN tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. So you can see the entire thing. I think they said it was about an hour and a half. So bring it to you tomorrow at 1
There you
o'clock.
go.
And I know a lot of people tune in because they'll be calling when it comes on. So. All right. Well, I guess that's it for us tonight. Hopefully no snow tomorrow morning.
hopefully not.
Okay.
Maybe we could boost those temperatures up a little bit.
Everybody just think about our sports crew and Beth tomorrow while they're out. And every other crew that's out there.
And of course the kids that are playing on the field.
Oh yeah,
the
them
fans
too.
that are there.
Them too. All right. Have a good night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Topic A, Jack Monday will join me live.